Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a reading on Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chamelet. Please remember that this video, as well as every video on my channel, they are all alleged for entertainment purposes only, and let's go ahead and get into it. So when it comes to Kylie, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Kylie is clinging to this relationship for financial security. Timothy definitely is a caretaker and a provider. It's interesting because Timothy and Kylie both embody more of a feminine energy. More so Kylie than Timothy, but Timothy has a very nurturing personality. He does family, home, domestic caretaking. Those things are very high on the totem for him. So he is a provider. For both of them, this relationship is more about publicity. Is there love between the two? Absolutely. But the problem with these two, as far as why they'll never be in a relationship, we have the Ten of Cups and the Five of Wands. First off, her family. Her family's part of the issue, okay? Family comes first for her, whether they're right or wrong. The defense is always with the family, okay? And two, I'm not sure if Timothy's willing to, because she does have children, I'm not sure if Timothy's willing to join that dynamic and be part of her individual family, you know, kind of play the stepfather role. But it's really interesting because he definitely is a provider. Like, let's say Kylie is like, oh man, you know, one day I want to buy my kids a 20-carat bracelet. He's the type to show up and surprise her with that bracelet for her kids. Or, oh man, you know, I really want to take them on a trip to Orlando someday. He's the type to surprise her and be like, well, I paid for the, you know, flights and hotels, you know, what all you have to do is go. Like, he's a provider, and I think that she needs that. Not wants and likes, no, she actually needs that. So that's part of the reason that she's clinging to him. She's clinging to him more than he's clinging to her, because he provides more than she does financially, okay? Also the publicity. So she is looking at him as though he is more of a prize than she is. That's how she sees him. He is the prize. It's interesting because she shows up as the Queen of Needles. Why is she showing up? Or the Queen of Swords? Why is she showing up that way? Ten of Wands and the Queen. Yeah. So Five of Pentacles. Yeah. I don't know how she's doing financially, but whatever is going on financially, she does need him. She does need a provider in her life. She's unable, I don't want to say unable to do things on her own, but in a way she's unable to do it on her own. And he is rich and famous. So he is the career and financial boost that she needs. So she's going to cling to him whether she likes and respects him or not. However, at the same time, she is still Kylie Jenner. She is still massively famous and successful, and she does have options, okay? But with that fame comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of challenges. And I think that she knows the importance of your image. And I think she looks at her sisters and what her sisters have gone through publicly with men, and she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to be that person. You know, people look at Kim like, Kim was able to stick through with Kanye. She must also be crazy. Or they look at Chloe like, oh, Chloe just lets herself get played, and Courtney's with a guy that wanted her to, like, she doesn't want a man to kind of devalue her image and her brand, right? So as far as like allowing him to be a stepfather or stuff like that. When it comes to actually creating a family, I don't think she wants marriage from him or an engagement from him. No, he just is good on paper. Okay, he's good on paper. It's weird. They have a bond, but it doesn't really feel romantic. It's almost like two best buds, you know what I mean? But she doesn't want her image to be tarnished by a man the way, you know, her sisters have gone through. Her sisters have had that happen. She doesn't want that to happen. I feel like with Travis, she feels like it was a close one. But with Timothy, she's like, I don't want to get too serious, like engagement or marriage, or, you know, having him take pictures with the kids and, you know, and posting. Like, I don't want it to be I don't want our lives to be too integrated, because when/if something happens, I'm gonna look bad. So it's like, I'll give the public enough to know that we're together, but I won't give them enough to think that he's about to be my husband or the father of my children. You know, I don't want people talking shit. You know, with Kim, Courtney, and Chloe, they really integrated that man into their lives and made the man part of their brand. She doesn't want to do that. She wants people to know they're together, but, you know, if anything were to go wrong, it wouldn't look like, you know, oh, she doesn't love herself, she doesn't this. Why would you get married to a man like that if you know he's like, you know, I don't know how else to explain it. But let's go ahead and see what's next for this couple. But yeah, no, they're not romantically attached. They have a really good friendship. They're like best buds, but they have completely different ideas of what they want in a family setting, or if they were to have a family together. And also, he doesn't like her family, and her family just, it's like, I don't know, her family could be completely wrong and she's still gonna defend them. I don't know why, but that song "Life is a Highway" is coming to my mind. But yeah, okay, what's next for these two? What is she hiding from him? What is he hiding from her? So what's next for them? Page of Pentacles. What is she hiding? Two of Candles. What is he hiding? Queen of Cups. Wow. Okay, yeah, so he, with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, that is kind of wifey material. I think that he really admires her as a mother. And while I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, he wants to marry her or something like that, I think he does admire her as a mother, and he does notice sort of those wife-like qualities that she has. And I think that's why he holds her on a pedestal, because she's a real person. She's not just like, she's not exploiting her kids. She's not abandoning her kids. Like, her kids come before money, fame, anything. Like, she's actually a very proud, very excellent mother. And I think he holds his mother in a high regard. So I think he really admires that. But as far as, I think that's what he admires the most about her. And I think that's what sets her apart from any other woman. She's an incredible, amazing mother. And I think he sees how deeply she's able to love, and how able she is of being, or capable she is of being selfless and a provider in her own way. So I think he has a lot of respect for her, and I think that's why this works for him, because he respects her so much. He respects her so much. It's where even if it's not necessarily like super romantic, he doesn't mind helping her with her career, or wouldn't mind helping her financially, because he's generous, but he also feels like she is 100% a woman who is deserving of that kind of treatment. You know, she's not like a groupie or anything like that. You know, she's not just a groupie, she's not just a clout chaser. She's a real person, and she's gonna do whatever she needs to do to make it happen for her kids. So if she needs help, he's willing to be that help, because he doesn't see it in a way of like she's a user. he sees it in a way of like, you know, she understands my value because she has kids, if that makes sense. So I'm appreciative of who she is as a mother. You know, if she didn't have kids, I would probably just be like, she would probably try to just exploit and blah, blah, blah. But she actually appreciates me because I'm an avenue to take care of her kids, right? So regardless of why she appreciates me so much, she appreciates me so much. And I like being with someone who appreciates me so much. And because the root of that appreciation is her and their compatibility and their friendship and all of these things, because the root of that appreciation is the kids, he appreciates the kids for giving her a reason to appreciate. I don't know if that makes any sense. But now what she's hiding, and it's interesting because the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, that's definitely someone who could be a wife someday. He knows that she's a gem. In his eyes, she is the full package. Maybe not for him, but she is very, very valuable. But yeah, no, her family, no. Mm-mm. If it weren't for her family, maybe he would look at this a little bit different, but I don't think he wants to be part of her family. He does not want to be part of the Kardashian tribe. No way. Absolutely not. He does not respect her family. Yeah, no, to him that's like a nightmare. But it's like marrying into the worst in-laws you could have. I'm getting the word narcissistic and outrageous. Narcissistic, outrageous, failures, degrading. He does not, like, he has a lot of spite toward her family. Now, what she's hiding from him is that, like I said, he's more of like she sees him as a provider and a friend with benefits. The Two of Swords, that's really just a sexual passionate card. She doesn't love him the way he loves her. She loves him for what he provides, financially and image-wise. But she knows him very well. And there are things that she knows about him that just, no. Mm-mm. Maybe if she were a bit more ignorant to certain aspects of his character and his life, but she's not. So she knows him well, and she knows that he's not husband material. At least her definition of husband material. Whereas he knows her very well, and he adores her, and he likes taking care of her. But he will never want to marry her because of her family. Because of her family. And she's okay with that. She's all right with that. Now, with the Sun card on the back of the deck, I do feel like they're both content with where things are. Let's see if they're gonna break up. Because it's an interesting dynamic, but it's a dynamic that works very well. Are they gonna end up breaking up? Or is this gonna go on for a very long time? We have the Seven of Candles with the King of Cups in the back of the deck. Interesting, Nine of Pentacles. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna break up anytime soon. I think she's always gonna have her walls. He's definitely way more attached to her than she is to him. I see him growing more and more and more fond of her. Maybe he will eventually want engagement or marriage. I could see it. That's not his intention right now, but the direction at which his feelings are growing and the amount of energy and money he's putting, I do think eventually he's gonna be thinking, I could marry her. Her, on the other hand, I don't see that at all. Not even a little bit. She's always gonna have her walls up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one card for exactly why. I'm gonna close out this reading. Exactly why is she keeping her walls up? Seven of Needles, yeah. All right, yeah. She just knows things. There are certain things that come along with dating a super famous man. You know, there are things that go on behind the scenes. With the Empress, who is this Empress? Third party. Star. She knows that he also sees her as like a career booster. And she knows that he's also in it for that. They're super compatible though, I will tell you that. They are incredibly, extremely freaking compatible. Or at least he thinks that. There's a lot of third-party interference in this relationship. There's a lot of outside opinions always. He may have someone else. Nothing serious. Maybe someone he just hooks up with every once in a blue moon. Yeah, she just doesn't want that from him. It's not the idea of marriage, it's him. It's just him. Honestly, if I'm gonna be 100% real with you, I think if she were to get married, or if she were to find someone to get married, you know how Ariana got with Dalton and like nobody knew who he was, but he was very familiar with the lifestyle and stuff like that? That's the type of man I see her settling down with. Kind of like a Dalton, someone who is in the circle, but not of the circle. I don't think she wants someone extremely famous like him. If she could find someone who was like uber wealthy, but low-key, like Dalton Gomez, she would go toward that in a heartbeat. I don't think she really likes the idea of settling down with someone super famous. I just think she looks at her sister's relationships and she takes that as like a cautionary tale. All of them have gotten with super duper famous men, and all of them have gotten shredded into pieces by the media and people in their social circle and family members and friends. You know, to her it's just like she's waiting for her Dalton. Rich, low-key, handsome, but gets it, you know. But I will say for her family's always going to be a problem. Most men she gets with are not going to want anything to do with her family, with her tribe. That's the word I'm getting specifically, tribe. Tribe, that's her tribe. Yeah, no, it's going to be very hard for her to integrate a man into the Kardashian family. Most men don't want that sort of publicity. Or that sort of connotation. I'm getting the word escorts. Famous escort. Yeah, that's going to be a really big issue for her. That's going to be a very big issue for her. And it's interesting because I feel like she's not like her family.